a 250 race.
Good observation. Most of the fans' eyes right now are on number 1 on the Mazda Chaparral Yamaha, Jeremy McGrath.
That's a tricky first turn too, Art, and you've got a couple of great starters. The sign goes sideways to the inside, Lamson and Ferry.
And we're off and running. Ricky Carmichael getting a slight edge, but McGrath is to the inside. Let's see where they come out of that turn. It's Ricky Carmichael and Robbie Raynard. Ricky Carmichael in the lead with Raynard in second. McGrath right where he wants to be in third.
Lusk is also right there along with Larry Ward and Albertine.
Ward just passed him for fourth. Ezra Lusk now in fifth.
I mentioned Steve Lau. There goes McGrath already.
Wasting no time. The cheers from the stands. Jeremy McGrath is our quick leader before the first lap is over.
And he goes for that big triple just to put even more gap between himself and Carmichael. Of course, if he didn't do that jump, he wouldn't have been able to go wide like that and still hold on to the lead because Carmichael was there.
Carmichael looks hungry. He looks like he wants this one as well. Will he let Jeremy McGrath off the hook? Will Jeremy suck it up and step it up? Ezra Lusk went down.
Well, it's disaster for Honda. He's gone down to the first lap. You lose. He's all the way at the back of the field. Also, Mikel Pichon, who we highlighted before the start, got stuck in the starting gate. Both he and Lamson jumped early and took off dead last.
McGrath, Carmichael. Then it's Robbie Raynard. Larry Ward is behind Raynard. And then Mike LaRocco, second in points. Greg Albertine is next. Tortelli. And then Mikel Pichon, a disappointing position for him. He's in front of Damon Huffman. And then it's the privateer, Lawrence.
Mistake by Carmichael right there. Got sideways. They talked about that loose soil getting shuffled around.
And Robbie Raynard took advantage of it.
And so did Larry Ward right there to the inside. So one mistake cost Carmichael 2 positions, and you can forget about McGrath right now. He's
18
gone.
laps to go. McGrath well on the way to victory. Our real battle right now is going to be for second, third, and fourth.
McGrath just went through this whoop section just ahead of these guys. I'm sure we'll see it later on like a rocket ship. He jumped out the last about 5 or 6, opening up that lead even more.
Team Suzuki teammates battling it out right there for second place. Robbie Raynard, number 17, and number 7, Larry Ward.
Down that straightaway, though, it's much slower pace than McGrath. So it's looking good for Suzuki in terms of the podium, but McGrath's going to have a major problem for these guys to even get to see him again.
And Ricky Carmichael there in fourth. He would love to move up into third or second for the highest finish on the season for Team Kawasaki.
I know he's frustrated with himself right now, Carmichael that is, making that little mistake. You see that one-line situation starting to develop from our roof cam to the whoops. But Carmichael, you know, he got a little sideways, made a mistake. He's got to be okay with that. I mean, McGrath shoots for the podium regardless of the start he gets. Doesn't take that many chances. He lets the race come to him. He lets the riders around him make mistakes.
He's got a 4-second lead on Robbie Raynard. And Raynard's got Ward right on his tail. LaRocco. And Ward's pulling away from LaRocco. Carmichael's catching up with LaRocco. Lusk is in 16th.
That's just a disaster. He was right there where he wanted to be, right behind McGrath. Could see everything that was going on. Had a chance to challenge McGrath in his heat race. Actually proved he was a little bit quicker by closing in on Jeremy. Jeremy actually made a little mistake. Could have been some pressure that forced him into that. But Lusk had a chance. So did Wyndham until he made his mistake earlier this afternoon.
Team Honda's Sebastian Tortelli, number 44. Looking to get by. Oh, what a gutsy move right in front of Ricky Carmichael. And Carmichael goes down. Well, not what Ricky Carmichael needed with a very sore hip and sore insteps.
Well, that was a bum deal, and I don't want to say that Tortelli did that on purpose or anything. I think they just got their timing mixed up. Tortelli was doubling into the corner. Thought Carmichael was going to leave him some space.
And Carmichael's having trouble, of course, just standing, let alone getting back up on the bike. Here's our leader, Jeremy McGrath. He's taking away with it.
Watch him right here. Well, he takes it easy now because Carmichael's down. That's a section where he's been making a lot of his time. Carmichael just, again, in a bad position. That's that you could call bad luck. He didn't cause that. He probably should have sensed that Tortelli was that close and gave him a little bit of room. However, I don't think he expected him to do it.
Chad Watts, his mechanic, getting the word from up above as Ricky Carmichael goes back on the track. So disappointed.
Well, he's got to be really scratching his head now, going, okay, what do? I was taking it easy, and it still didn't work. So he may just go back to his all-out style.
Winning 9 races in 9 tries last year in the 125 ranks and having such a difficult time. Robbie Raynard in second place.
That's right there where he backs off a little bit, playing it safe. It's a very tricky section leading into that corner. McGrath keeps going for it and picking up more time each lap.
As Raynard is looking for his first podium, let's go down now with Davey Coombs, who's with Chad Watts.
Chad, you guys can't win for losing. Another tough break. That time it looked like Ricky was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I couldn't see from where I'm at what happened. I just saw him land on the ground. So I don't know if he cased something or someone ran into him. I have no idea. But I guess the fortunate thing is he's still not hurt.
How do you keep his confidence up?
Right now I'm trying to get it there. I mean, it's taking some work. We're going through a rough time. Eventually we'll get there, but I just don't want him to get hurt getting there.
Here comes Larry Ward to the inside and Robbie Raynard for second place. Larry Ward. So now it is McGrath, Ward, Raynard, LaRocco, Tortelli, Pashone, Huffman, and Albee.
You know what's happening, too, right now, Art, is McGrath doesn't realize what's going on behind him. He's just got a huge lead. Figure, I'll just put it in cruise control. And Ward is actually starting to gain a little bit on him.
Wouldn't that be interesting if Larry Ward could put some pressure on McGrath? Our field summary, McGrath, Ward, Raynard, LaRocco, and Lusk.
The rut really starting to get deep through the whoops now.
And Lusk is not in there. As it was obvious, Lusk went down. He's in double digits. It's McGrath, Ward, Raynard, LaRocco, Tortelli, Pashone, Huffman, and Albee.
Ward putting together a pretty good ride. No mistakes. Everything clean. Right through there, though, McGrath's actually using a little bit more to the inside. Still able to get over the triple. So it's just little spots around the racetrack where McGrath is forced to turn it up a notch. He's got more up his sleeve.
Let's go back down to Davey.
You know what, guys? I'm down here where I can watch Robbie Raynard as he comes around. This is his first race back in a while. He's done. He's just riding around. Right now, his arms are completely pumped up. And I can tell you this, Suzuki's told him, just get to the Outdoor Nationals at this point. Supercross is over. Learn it a little bit. Let's come back in the year 2000, 100%. But for right now, just get to May.
Mike LaRocco trying to get in front of Robbie Raynard now. They've got the Lapper to deal with. As Lusk has moved up to 11. Mike LaRocco, second in points, wants to nail that position down for his independent factory connection Honda team.
He is putting together an excellent season in terms of consistency and always charging.
One of the hardest workers on the circuit, Mike LaRocco.
I think all these guys pretty much just resolved to scratching their heads and going, I don't think that anybody can win a title until Jeremy retires.
We're at the halfway point with the question remaining. Can Jeremy McGrath set another record? And the icon of Supercross, number 1, is well on his way to going 6 for 6 in the Metrodome.
He's just having a great time out there right now. At times like this, when you get a little lead, your mind wanders. You start thinking about where you're going to eat after the race and what you're going to do next week. And, you know, it's gotten so routine for him. He goes over that tricky double right there, makes it look easy. Right now, this is just proof that he's been doing his homework during the week.
And in his soundbite, he mentioned about overtraining earlier in the season.
Well, I think what's happened is Jeremy sort of set the standard for, okay, I've got all this natural ability and all this great technique. I don't have to train that hard. People looked at what he did and figured, well, he's not training that much. So now he's picked it back up. And what he's found is a balance. You can see Larry Ward's mechanic, no mistakes. Hang on to that podium because LaRocco's back there. McGrath has found a balance, though, and if you train too hard during the week at home, as soon as you get on the plane and head to the race, you're pulled in every direction. You're dealing with shaking a lot of people's hands. weather, temperature, different changes, and it's tough to stay healthy all year. Jeremy has found a balance to where he doesn't use up too much energy, so when he's on the road, he's got enough patience.
As Larry Ward, number 7, is in second, his teammate Greg Albertine went down. Ward looking for his 4th podium of the year. Of course, his best race, who can forget that emotional victory at Seattle where he led 18 of the 20 laps. We go back to Jeremy McGrath as he circles near the mechanics area. I don't think they put a pit board out for him, do you?
Actually, Randy just put, I was just going to say, Art, they don't really need to, but as these guys approach the signaling area, Randy Lawrence, McGrath's mechanic, put the pit board right in front of Jeremy, down low. You're looking at the ground. You don't want to look up in the air. And Randy knows right where to put it because he rides as well.
Pichon looking to make an inside pass on Robbie Raynard for 4th. Flying through the air. Pichon does just that.
This is a fine ride. Pichon has got to be a little disappointed with the way the race started, especially as well as he's ridden this evening. He's been stuck in the starting gate. Took off dead last.
Once again from the roof cam as our leaders McGrath, Ward, LaRocco, Pichon, and Raynard, the top 5.
That's one of the reasons where Pichon making up his time. He jumps up on top of that plateau, jumps back off of it to get into the corner. A little bit faster timing.
6 laps to go.
You see his mechanic holding that pit board out about eye level. He's forced to take his eyes off the racetrack a little bit more than when Randy puts it out for Jeremy. Little tip for the mechanics.
Yeah. Here's Jeremy McGrath. Can he get his 6th win in Minnesota? As far as number of victories in one venue, Bob Hanna's 8 at Pontiac leads that list. Of course, that was back in the doubleheader days.
Well, the way Jeremy rides in this building, he just needs to ride Supercross a couple more years. He should be able to match that.
Ricky Johnson had 7 victories in Seattle during the doubleheader days. Both those guys swept 2 years in a row. So getting 8 of their, or I should say 4 of their wins very quickly in 2 years.
Those double headers were tough. I picked up one in Pontiac, and you're on fumes the next day. And they changed the racetrack a little bit. Yeah, everybody's tired.
What'd they do? Just change the direction sometimes?
Sometimes they would change the direction, and it would shape up the obstacles a little bit different. But it was also fell at the time when you had to turn the clocks back an hour, so you even lost more time.
Jeremy McGrath told me, I'm really not sure about this 6 for 6 stuff. He says, I hope I win 6 here at the Metrodome. But I really want to become the first guy to win 3 straight races in this season. Of course, he'd have to do one to do the other.
Sure.
But that's an interesting goal that he had in mind.
Well, you know, Jeremy used to have all these streaks, and this year the talent has been so deep, it's been tough for anybody to get a streak together. Lust started off looking like he was going to tear it up until round 3.
Here's Ward. Larry Ward in 2nd place. LaRocco in 3rd.
Look at LaRocco jumps that whole section right there, just makes up a chunk of time. If he gets close enough on that straightaway, he'll be able to take advantage, but he's got to be able to do it on in a different line as Larry.
LaRocco could feel Wyndham closing in on that points race, 2nd in the points. There's Lee McCollum saying, go for it. 2nd, you're going to have to. And LaRocco's mechanic right behind him.
That was Larry's mechanic. Looked like he put 2nd wind now. Wherever that thing is, get it out. It's time. Don't let LaRocco get any closer. Once you get somebody closer to you, then you have to start protecting your line a little bit more, and then it usually plays into their favor. A lot of lapped riders ahead of him right now, though.
As I was saying, you know, LaRocco could feel, and right now, here's LaRocco putting the pressure on Larry Ward. He could feel Wyndham closing in, and now Wyndham, of course, has the broken shoulder. And he's out for the season. LaRocco putting the big test, wanting a 2nd place. Cuts to the inside. He's got Larry Ward on the angle. Ward sneaks through. Oh, my goodness, what a move by Larry Ward.
And you see the mechanics frantically trying to get the lapped riders out of the way. Lawrence, you see, he's experienced. Good sportsmanship, gets out of the way for both Ward and LaRocco.
Huffman has passed Tortelli for 5th as we take a look at the real war. And that is Larry Ward and Mike LaRocco.
Coming up to lap Carmichael now. Carmichael moves out to the outside. Look at Ward doesn't go for that double jump right there. He didn't last lap either. LaRocco jumped it. Almost passed him. Surprised Larry didn't go for that. There you see the difference down that straightaway. Completely different timing. Ward makes up his time in the early part of the straightaway, and LaRocco makes it back up at the end. That could be his eighth right there in the final lap. Well,
White flag.
It will be the final lap. The next time around, LaRocco has that inside line approaching the triple.
Ward had a third and 95 here to LaRocco and Jeremy. LaRocco has been on the podium. In fact, he's the only rider besides Jeremy to be on the podium twice here in Minneapolis. You got Jeremy McGrath, number 1, looking for his 6th victory here, but in the past 5 years, 9 different riders landed on the 10 remaining podium spots.
LaRocco almost landed on the back of Larry Ward over that big double.
Jeremy McGrath. Thousands of flashbulbs popping here at the Metrodome. 1 turn away from 6 out of 6. The checkers for Jeremy.
Wow. He threw that bike sideways in the air. Larry Ward hangs on.
Ward second. LaRocco third.
McGrath was just upside down.
Pashone is in 4th. And Huffman will take a top 5 spot. The 6th consecutive victory here in Minneapolis for a very happy Jeremy McGrath. It is his 5th win of the season, his 8th podium. He will thus extend his points lead, and we'll figure it up and give it to you when we come back. Davey Coombs will be down on the victory podium talking to